What is up, lacrosse fans? Today we are here to talk about the Inside Lacrosse Invitational, the 2020 and the 2021 finals. They aired those on ESPN. They did a great job covering those games for the kids, for the clubs, for the parents. It was actually incredible to see. It's great to see lacrosse getting some of these showcase games out there like they have on ESPN for football and basketball in years past. So excellent to see. It aired on Wednesday on the 10th of this month of July. So if you have watch ESPN or the ESPN app as part of your cable subscription, you can actually go back and watch it on demand, and I recommend you do. It was well worth it. I digress. Let's get into this. The LaxFactor podcast. All right, so the 2020 game, I watched that first, so it only makes sense we'll cover that first as well. It came right down to the stretch. The Express North goalie, Stephen Krug, he had an excellent game. He had a huge tournament, and he brought home the finals MVP trophy, and it was deserving. He puts up 9 saves in the Express's win over Nation United. Nation United actually took an 8-7 lead off a Benjamin Lott goal with 7:18 left to play, but then the Express answered back thanks to a great takeaway on defense that then turned around on the other side of the field into a Ray Dearth goal going back the other way. I'm going to talk about Dearth here in a little bit. And then Charlie Benson scores the game winner for the Express North with 1:58 remaining off just a simple alley dodge. I didn't get there, and I believe it was 5-hole. You may have 5-hole that I can't remember. You'll see the highlight, though. So my favorite player, though, from the 2020 side of this tournament, and he's uncommitted at this point, which is pretty good to see. And I'm hoping he goes the way of his brother, Peter Dearth, who plays at Syracuse right now, who's an excellent two-way midi for Syracuse. And then Cal Dearth, his other brother, plays at Boston U. But anyway, uncommitted, Ray Dearth. He was my favorite player to watch, and I think he's a class of 2020 player to watch. He's uncommitted, as I said. He had a great tournament all the way through. He had 2 points, a goal, and an assist in the finals. He had that goal that you saw that I'm rolling now again that he scored to tie the game up late. There's nothing he can't do. He can play on offense. He can shoot from outside. He plays incredibly well between the boxes, picks up ground balls, is incredible. One of his biggest strengths, just like his brother, is incredible in transition. It'll be interesting to see at the next level, because this kid, he is a D1 talent. It'll be interesting to see at the next level if he can kind of turn his offensive game into more offensive sets than his brother has gotten so far at Syracuse. But either way, the kid, he's got a similar frame, and I think he'll fill out just like his brother. He actually reminded me in the little bit of I saw of him before it clicked that I knew he was Peter Dearth's brother, and he reminded me a lot just in his frame, his build, and his shot of Brendan Curry. But obviously Dearth, I think, has a little bit more meat on his bones than Curry, but not Ray, but his brother Peter. So I'm thinking he'll fill out, and he's going to be of that mold, but hopefully he can translate his play into a little bit more, a handful more of offensive reps wherever he ends up. Great dodger north to south, and his lanky frame kind of makes it tough for when he gets aggressive for a defender to kind of stay on the island with him without needing help. So that frame allows him to get the edge on defenders as he goes down the alley. But like I said, he's great between the boxes and in transition. So no matter what happens with this kid, he's going to get time wherever he goes at the next level. The question is going to be, what will his role be? Is he going to be a between the boxes midfielder similar to his brother? Peter, he puts up points now also, and he would be a little bit more aggressive in his dodging his junior year, but still it'll be interesting to see how he can use this last year to maybe bulk up a little bit and then progress that game. So that I think a lot of midfielders in this new shot clock era are hoping to be two-way midfielders that get offensive reps, and that's the old school style of lacrosse that I love. So I like Ray Dearth. I think that if anyone's got a shot in this 2020 class of being one of those true two-way mids that gets to play defense, takes the ball away, starts transition, and then also scores goals, I think that he's going to be that kid in this 2020 class. It's going to end up being that great two-way midfielder. But it'll also be interesting to see where he ends up. I haven't heard anything really one way or another on where he's looking to play. So considering he's got brothers at 2 decent schools, Boston U, a good lacrosse school, and Cuse, an excellent lacrosse school, I'm hoping he picks the cue. So we just need more guys like this, more gamers and just ballers. They're not necessarily 5-star recruits, but they're the kids that are going to develop long-term into legitimate Division I lacrosse players. We move on to the 2021 game. And in this game, it was all amped early on, and they jumped out to a 4-goal lead quick, scored a bunch of goals back to back to back. Couple of goalie saves on their end led to that. Both goalies actually played well in this game, and both goalies came up, fairly big early. It could have been worse. The score, it could have been worse than 4-0. Is my point. Nation United, they scored their first goal, obviously off a save. Started with a save and then a breakout up the field for a sweet transition goal. Evan Plunkett answered after that to get it back to within 2 goals, 4-2, and we're going to talk about Plunkett a little bit more here also. Nation United, they turned the tables, though, as the game wears on. They end up taking a 10-7 lead and then rode that lead out to victory. Now, this brings me to the next player I wanted to talk about, another uncommitted player because he's a junior, Evan Plunkett. Small guy. He's one of the wee folk, which means he's quick, he's crafty, but he's also tough. You can be one of the wee folk and be a pansy, and you're not going to do a whole lot in the sport of lacrosse, especially at the next level. He reminds me, I say I hate comparing players, but I do it a lot. Sometimes it's necessary to compare players. He reminds me a little bit of a Joey Sessa. If he can put a little bit more meat on his bones, because Sessa is small, but Sessa is a strong lacrosse player. I'm talking of Joey Sessa from Yale. This kid reminds me of that and could play like that. And actually, the highlight that I'm about to roll, he broke this kid's ankles behind the cage, getting to the rack, and that's a very Joey Sessa-like move. The kid's small, but he can take the punishment. He can get to the rack and he can create. He keeps his head up so he can distribute the ball. Also, by nature, he's forced to keep his head up. That's part of it. And by nature, defenders are going to have a hard time guarding a small, aggressive attackman that can dodge well because it's hard to defend them. Your stick ends up around their head. It makes it difficult for the help when you're trying to be the slide and the hot call on a small attackman, because when you come in to hit them, you got to you have to be a little bit more careful. You have to keep your stick off their head, so automatically you're not going to be able to plow this kid over. So a lot of these smaller attackmen, they end up taking a little bit less punishment through their careers, because even though they're small, they're hard to body check, especially with the new rules. So like I said, his ability to create that separation is going to make it hard for Poles. And even though we hate the comparisons, he really could be that Joey Sessa type attackman, a little spark plug, but he's got the skill to back that up at the next level. So Evan Plunkett, watch him, great lacrosse player. As always, thank you for watching. If you want to help us out, be sure to like and subscribe and all that stuff. You can also go to LaxFactor.com and you can get some swag. We have one pair. This is the only pair of these we have left, and I believe they are a medium. These are old shorts. We had these printed a bunch of years ago, but they've been in a bin, so we have these if someone wants to buy those. And then we have, as I've been talking about here, our Maryland flag shorts. Let me see if I can get you the full front here, full frontal. Maryland flag lacrosse shorts. These are pretty sweet. You can go to LaxFactor.com and pick up a pair of those. We have 2 pairs of these left, and then they'll be on pre-order until mid-August or so. I have a bunch of pairs of the Rampage lacrosse shorts left also. So you can go to LaxFactor.com. These are all ready to ship. Order them, and they're off to you. As always, thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, and have a good rest of your weekend, whenever you're watching this.